Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and welcome to TIB, the Immigrant Bag podcast. I'm your host, Modupe Ogunyemi. If this is your first time tuning in, this is the place where we talk about tips and insights to help immigrants secure the bag. As always, we start with a disclaimer. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. Everything we say on this show is for education and entertainment only. Please note that investing comes with risks, so please do your own due diligence or consult a financial advisor before making any investment decision. Okay, last week we started an absolutely exciting conversation with a brilliant special guest. And today we are bringing you a continuation of the interview. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Right. And I think you sort of answered my next couple of questions because I was going to say, but I can still ask them and just maybe draw them out a little bit and flesh them out a bit more. So I was going to say two things actually. How do you see the dynamics of real estate playing out in 2023? And I know you already mentioned the spring market, but before, like after the spring market, and also, when would you say is the best time for someone who is not yet in the market and who's not yet, in the real estate business to sort of get in? And I know you said it's a fact that house prices are falling, yes, but they're still not affordable. Like affordability is still a thing because interest rates are now sky high.
So it's never going to be affordable. Affordable is relative. It's never going to be affordable. Like think about it. There's like the government said 500,000 immigrants are coming in every year, but they're going to allow. The market is never going to crash, right? Like I came in 3 years ago. I know people that came in last week. I know someone that came in this weekend. No, not this weekend. I think on Thursday or so. Like I know people that are coming from Nigeria, like steady. So I know that in the next 1 or 2 weeks, they're going to be looking for a house. I think they've started looking for a house to live in. So chances are that they just moved into the country, husband, wife, children, they want to find a nice place to live. They were living in a nice place in Nigeria. If a landlord says, pay 2,500, chances are they will pay, right? Chances are that 2,500 covers that landlord's mortgage. Boom, that landlord is cash flowing. Doesn't care that interest rates are like high if he's on a fixed mortgage. Boom, he has a tenant and he's cash flowing, and he's on to the next one. So you see, like, people are going to keep coming. Like, even if nobody comes, Nigerians are coming. They're coming. So with the number of Nigerians that are coming, man, yeah, you better get all the houses ready for them because they are leaving that country. Again, if you get a good president this time around, maybe people will stay. Trust me, man, people are coming. So
people that are already outside of the country, like people in the
they tell you, like, people are coming. Like
that is so true.
And also, when you look at a lot of the moves that the government is making, right, it also tells you that the government understands this. So with what happened with Doug Ford and at the new Bill 23, allowing people to build multiplexes on their single family lots, that tells you that they understand that there's a housing shortage. The market can never crash when there's a housing, like it just can never. They would always use immigration to shock it, because it's demand and supply. When supply goes so low and Canadians can afford to buy houses again, or interest rates are like 1,000,000%, guess what? Hey guys, can you come in? Come in. We're reducing the PR score to like 100. Come in. And then people are coming, okay, how much do I need to show for funds? 12K, 13K, okay. And you have people that are coming in with 15K for funds, just coming. It's never going to crash. So I think it's just a few months of pain. And again, it's pain for a few people, not for everyone. It's only the few people that didn't buy right. Outside of those few months of pain, if you're investing for the long term, it's going to cycle out. And when it's going up again, that's when everybody's going to say, now people are not saying it because they're losing money. But, when it comes back again, people are going to start talking about it. So it's just knowing this is the best time to buy, actually, because This is when sellers don't have high expectations. This is when a lot of realtors have started to get jobs back. This is when there isn't so much competition. You don't have bidding wars. You can negotiate. You can lowball. You can get best prices. Versus when it was at the height of the market, like over asking. Right? So now is actually the best time to buy if you want to buy, as long as you buy right. Once you buy right, then you're golden. You're golden because when the market comes back up, guess who is smiling? Guess who is smiling to the bank? It's you. It's you. So yeah, that's my feedback.
Okay, so just for the sake of our listeners and myself as well, explain buying right. How do you know if you are buying right? How do you make that decision?
So I touched on this a while back during the call. So first thing first, like if you want to hold the property for the long term, don't buy a single family. It's just higher risk. Again, you mentioned it yourself. You buy a single family, someone doesn't pay rent. Now you are stressed. Oh, someone's calling me at 1 a.m. The sink is not working. Oh, landlord, my tap is not working. Oh, landlord, my door is broken. And then they're calling you, please come and fix that. Yeah. Always fixing stuff. Like, that's probably not the joys of real estate investing, right? Buying right means just trying to mitigate risk as much as possible. So again, if you are looking at residential financing, like rather than buying 1 unit, buy 2 units. Rather than buying 2 units, buy 3. Rather than buying 3, buy 4. Reduce your risk of, someone not paying and you being in the hole. Buy a property and don't live in it. Don't be the one to come out of pocket for it. Like, if you lose your job, then who is going to pay it? In this recessionary environment, you cannot because I mentioned earlier that with residential single family properties, the reason why it's not a good investment is because the only exit you have is appreciation. What happens in a recessionary environment like we are now, that exit is gone. So it means you literally have 0 exits. There's nothing you can do. So someone who bought a residential property in February or March, there's nothing they can do but to wait. They have to wait. So God has to give them patience, right? And from an investment standpoint, patience isn't a skill that you need to invest. It's having exits. So buying right just means not putting yourself in a position where you have no options. That's not where you want to be. You never want to be in real estate. We call someone who is forced to sell a motivated seller. I think simply put, you never want to be a motivated seller. And how do you become a motivated seller? You buy a single family in February 2020 on a variable mortgage for $1 million. Now it's worth $500,000, but your interest rate is now 5K, 10K, and you lose your job. Now, your prayers start getting hotter, So now you're looking for a job. Now you're looking for the 10K payments. Now you're looking, you can't sell your house. If you wanted to even do Airbnb, because it's a single family, you have to leave the house. Versus if it was a single family with a basement, maybe you could even use the basement for Airbnb. Again, if it's just a single family with no basement, that's even the worst. Like, there's just, just don't put yourself in a position where you have no options. Like, just when you're buying, think of worst case scenario. Never rely on appreciation. Appreciation is like the cherry on top. Your cash flow is one thing to take into account. You don't want to be the one coming out of pocket every month. You want money coming to you as much as possible. You could buy a 4 unit or a 5 unit or get the cash flow and use the cash flow to pay your primary residence. Maybe that's an option. If you are the kind of person who wants to live in a dream house, like people have dream houses that they envision for themselves. Okay, if you're going to come out of pocket for 3K, 4K every month, then buy an investment first. That gives you 3K, 4K every month. Then use that to pay. So that if you lose your job, you still have that investment. 4 people will have to lose their jobs for that investment to stop giving you money to pay. So it's just risk mitigation. It's like, it's not, there's no hard and fast rule. It's just try to mitigate as much risk as possible so that when interest rates are coming down, you are not stressed. and you can essentially wait it out, because that's what the wealthy people do. They just wait it out. They just say, okay, it's going to come back in 5 years. I'm going to keep buying till then, because they're not stressed. They've mitigated their downside, and they just keep buying. Yes, they might be losing a bit, or maybe their cash flow was $1,000 before. Now they're making cash flow of $100. They don't care. They're just holding it out, and in 2-3 years, when the market comes back up, then their position starts to kick in. Then they refinance 100K, 200K, 300K, and then they start to buy more. But in those down times, they were not stressed, right? They had mitigated that risk. But if they did not, and they went bankrupt, then they have to wait maybe 7 years for their bankruptcy to take it to so again, it's about risk mitigation. You just want to be alive and survive, and then live to fight another day,
Right. And can I just throw this in, bonus question?
Mm-hmm.
How do you, and again, I know you're not a financial advisor, so this is not financial advice for anyone listening. But it's very important to put the disclaimers out there. This is just for education and entertainment only. So what's the tax treatment for the cash flow that comes from properties?
Oh, so this is definitely not financial advice. But on passive income, I think it's 50%. So when you think about it, it makes sense to run a business versus be a landlord. Right. And if we were going deeper into which investments are better, then think about, if I have 100K in cash, yes, buying a property is ideal, but if I have a business that can generate more money than that property, why the hell would I buy a house? So someone can say, well, I have 10 houses. Okay, yeah, that's good. What's the cash flow? $100. Okay. So you're making 1K a month on your 10 properties of $100. Okay. So you're making 12K a year, right? So you put down on those 10 properties, you probably put down let's say you put down 20K. So 20K, you put down 20K times 10, you put down 200K as down payment on 10 properties, and you're making 12K. Boom, what's your ROI on that? I can almost bet that with 200K, if I run a business in real estate, I would make way more money than 12K. And then with the additional money that I make, then I can buy the 10 properties. So again, it depends on your resources. If you know that you are good at running businesses, you have the skill sets, you've run a business before, real estate, the levers, you can build a business in real estate and use the cash from business to buy properties. But if you are more like a passive investor, you just have money, you probably have a job, you don't really know how to run a business, or you don't have the time to run a business, then you could just buy the property. But everyone should understand that it's an investment. It's money in, money out. So yes, you have a house that appreciates during the good times. It's not appreciating right now. So just think about how much are you really making, right? After all the expenses, maintenance, all the, my sink is spoiled, and my lights is broken, my garage door is not working, my heater is spoiled, it is maintenance. All those things. After you back out all those things, are you really making money in the whole year? With all the cash flow, some houses that are not brand new, after you've taken out all those maintenance items, it's not really so much, right? So again, yeah.
This has been a total eye opener for me personally, and I'm sure for everyone else that's listening to this. So I want to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with us, and also for sharing your very, very valuable knowledge and experience and insights, to help everyone that's listening secure the bag in 2023 and beyond that. I do want to ask, though, if people want to reach you, what are the best channels with which to do that?
Right now, it's IG and Facebook. So I share more about this on the Deals Estate CA page. So that will be on Facebook and on Instagram for now.
Okay. All right. So no, you're not part of the Twitter crowd, TikTok.
Not yet. So I have a Twitter account, but it's been dormant for like the longest time. So you would see like zero stuff there. But IG and Facebook, like I share more about this stuff. So if anyone was interested or was excited about some of the things that I said, that would be a good place to just see what we're doing.
Okay, and that's Deal Estate CA.
So, yeah, so since I moved into this country, I found that I always had to pronounce the letters by calling them. So maybe because of my accent and because a lot of people I speak with are not necessarily Nigerian. So it's like Delta, Edward, Alpha, Lima, Sally, Edward, Sally, Tango, Alpha, Tango, Edward, Charlie, Alpha.
I don't know those alphabets to save my life.
So now, like, those words are just in my head because when anyone says, "Oh, can you pronounce?" I'm like, okay. And I just cut it out. So, yeah, like my accent is not going to change. So everyone has an accent, right?
Proudly Niger.
So,
it's okay. Yeah, we like it that way. So is there anything else you would like to share? Anything else you would like to say to our listeners? Someone or anyone out there who, is just listening to this and wondering how to get started, how can I be like this guy? How can I be like Deji? How can I know what
the goal isn't to be like me. The goal is to, what I'll say is, everyone, this is usually a time when everyone is identifying, taking stock of what has happened in this year, what they want to do more of in 2023, what they want to do less of. The goal is to be clear on what you want. So if you want 6 figures in 2023, if you want to build a business in 2023, if you want to get a job in 2023, if you want to make money in 2023, whatever it is, it has to be super clear. And then you just need to identify, okay, how do I do it? So, start searching out people who are doing what it is you want to do. So you want to make 6 figures, who is making 6 figures today? You want a job as a, X in this industry. So who is doing that today? You want to build a business, who is doing that today? So when you find who is doing that today, and the question is, hey, bros, sis, how did you do it? I want to get here at the end of the year. How do you do it? So tell me. And if the person doesn't offer that opportunity for free, be willing to pay for it.
Okay, be willing to pay for it. That is the one thing that I think is very important. Is one of the most important takeaways from here. Sometimes information and knowledge are not free. Be willing to pay for the knowledge, be willing to pay for the experience, but above all, prioritize acquiring knowledge in whatever journey or whatever pathway you want to go in. Right? Thank you so very much, Deji. It's been
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely exciting and exhilarating just hearing you talk about all these different things. I personally have taken so many notes, so many takeaways from here, and I will be reaching out actually after this podcast. I'll be one of those people who are on your Facebook and on your Instagram because I feel like you have so much knowledge and you've been so generous with sharing the knowledge and just giving back to the community, which is part of what we do here on this podcast, just sharing knowledge and trying to empower the community and empower people. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. All right.
Awesome. And hopefully we can call on you again some other time. And thank you so much. We appreciate the support.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Okay. On that note, we have come to the end of today's edition of TIB, the Immigrant Bag podcast. Until next week, when we bring another exciting episode your way again, this is Modupe saying keep your friends close, keep your money closer, and keep your family closest.